What's going on, everybody? Almost Counts Collectibles here, and in this video we're going to be checking out the collectible haul that we picked up from a Ross department store that we were just at a couple weekends ago. It's probably like 3 weekends ago now. But we always go in and try to, if we have time, check out like Ross, Burlington Coat Factory, all these like discount department stores every time we go out of town, and even the local ones that we have, because they always get really good discounted collectibles in. We're going to go through everything that we got. I encourage you guys, always get out there and check these department stores if you are a collector, because you never know what you might find in there. And always go through the shelves, always look at what's behind everything. Look under the very bottom shelves, because there's some pretty cool stuff that you might come across. I'll show you one, for example, that we got in here that my middle child actually found, just actually getting down, looking under things and moving things around that don't even look like they have things behind them. Found a pretty good gem in there, but we're gonna go ahead and go through this giant bag of stuff and just check out some of the collectibles that we got. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this bag out of the way. We'll pull them up on the table one at a time, and then we'll take a look at everything at the end. So hold on just a second and we'll get it ready. All right, now that we're a little closer, we're gonna go ahead and start pulling everything out of this giant bag at once. And I'm just going to start with the biggest item that we got here. And it is this awesome Halo. Let's move that over just a little bit there. So we got this awesome Halo pack. So it comes with Master Chief. He comes with a rocket launcher. We've got an Elite. I forget exactly which Elite the golden ones are, if they have a proper name. It says Elite Warlord. I don't remember if that was their official name or not, but we get a golden Elite with an energy sword. Then we get a Ghost here. We've got some effects up here. And then we get a Mongoose, like the four-wheeler. But these are pretty cool. I always try to collect any kind of like Halo figures that I find. I've never really been set on acquiring them as far as like completing a collection of them. But anytime I see Halo stuff, whether it's at like a yard sale or a flea market or like a really cheap collectible, I usually snag it. I mean, I've always liked Halo. I liked the first few games more than I liked the later installment of Halo games, but always loved Halo. It's always going to have a special place in my heart. And this was only, let's see. This was only, let's see if you can see it right there, $12.99. I mean, $12.99 for a giant like box set of stuff. I mean, I'm usually always going to grab that, even if it's something that I don't really collect. I'm always like looking to make custom figures and stuff of that nature. So I'll buy things with no intention of displaying them or collecting them, just to throw them in a box and later maybe go back and use them to turn into something custom for a set that I do collect. Mainly Power Rangers, one of the biggest things I collect, but this was a really cool piece. So we got this Halo set for $12.99. I'm going to leave it in the background. I'm just going to kind of scoot it over and start throwing stuff up here in front of it. All right, one of the next things, which was pretty cool, we got the Avatar The Last Airbender collector set. This was one of the more expensive things we got. It was $24.99. I know these sell for like, I think they're still over 50 bucks on Amazon, but it comes with the 4 main elemental individuals, earth, water, air, and fire, a ton of different like hands and their weapons and their effects, and everything like this. And it even comes in this pretty cool box. But my youngest really likes and is getting into Avatar, so we've seen this before, but seeing it there for like half the price, couldn't miss snagging this. We have some other Avatar stuff too that we've acquired, but this was one of the ones that he really wanted. So pretty neat that they had this, and for 24 bucks, especially if you're an Avatar fan, I mean, you can't beat that. All right, staying with the Avatar theme, they also had this guy right here. So this is the Komodo Rhino. the Fire Nation like beasts that they ride, which is pretty cool. And this thing was, you can't really, it's kind of scratched out here, but this was only like $7.99. So we went ahead and snagged that too. So we got the Fire Nation Komodo Rhino. All right, I'm going to show these just to kind of get them out of the way. But like I said, I'm always kind of looking to do like crafts and custom stuff. So anytime I can pick up some more, you know, acrylic paint or paint brushes, whatever the case may be, X-Acto knives, if they have stuff cheap, I usually always snag it. And Ross is like one of those places that's really good to get that stuff. So I got this whole acrylic paint set. I think it was, yeah, it was like $3.99. So you can't beat that. And then I got another set of brushes for $2.99. And if y'all do crafts or custom work or anything, you know the price of a lot of this stuff. If you have to buy it at full price, like it can get pretty expensive. So anytime you find that stuff cheap, I suggest you snag it. All right, what else we got? So we got a Mega Bloks Pokemon set of the Vulpix evolution. So it's got Vulpix and Ninetales. My middle child probably still likes Pokemon the most out of anyone. And he's got quite a few of these sets, but actually didn't have this one. And this was only, some of these things didn't have a price tag. This was $9.99. And for these little sets, that's a pretty decent price, especially for one that he didn't have. So I went ahead and snagged that as well. So got a Pokemon Mega Constructs. All right, I'm gonna pull two up at once here. So we've got a couple of turtle figures. Now these, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this camera down just a little bit. All right. So we got Michelangelo and Donatello. Now these are some of the like classic collection Playmates figures. These are of the, they're more like 7-inch, very articulated figures. These are some of my favorites actually that they released as far as in recent memory goes. But these were $11.99 each. And these are, I mean, these are a pretty good find. If you wanted to buy these new, pretty much anywhere else, you're going to pay a lot more than 11 bucks, especially with shipping. So anytime that I can find Ninja Turtle stuff, especially of like classic turtles, I always pick that stuff up. But I got both of these for $11.99 each. But we also got they also had these. Now I got both Mikey and Leo. These were only $9.99 each. As far as like the more classic look, I like the look of these right here in the background, the little bit taller ones. But these right here are very good looking Ninja Turtle action figures. I like these a lot as well. And for $9.99, I mean, they've got a lot of articulation. We'll review stuff like this in a different video. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But just incredible looking figure. So if you're a Ninja Turtle collector, obviously Ross is one of those places that usually has a lot of that overstock and stuff that just didn't sell, which is another weird thing to me. Like there's very sought after collectibles that I'll find at Ross that I never saw hit the shelves anywhere else. Like I'll be actively looking for them, never find them. They're either sold out or never came in. And then one day there's just like a bunch of them at Ross for like a super discounted price. Like nobody wanted them, but it's like I couldn't, you know, we couldn't find them. So it's just one of those things. I don't really know how distribution works as far as how a lot of these places get them, determine there's too many, sell them off at cheaper prices. I don't know, but there's something wrong there because a lot of these action figures are sought after, and I feel like they could get more out of them than what, you know, you find at Ross and stuff like that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. A couple more Ninja Turtle action figures that we snagged there. And actually only one thing left, but we found one of the VHS Green Rangers, and this was only $7.99. And this was actually like I don't remember if it was the very bottom shelf underneath, but it was on one of the lower shelves, like all the way in the back with just a bunch of stuff piled on it. And my middle child, just like digging through everything, just happened to see like the side of the box all the way in the back. And like 90% of his body had to crawl back in there, and he came out with this. And I was like, no way. So we definitely had to snag that. Now, I obviously have, you know, I've got a couple of these sealed, a couple opened. And I've even had people like in other videos, because they see me buy like multiple items, like call me a scalper and stuff like that. And that's fine. But just so everybody knows, I don't think I have ever in my life resold something that I have bought like new. I honestly don't think I've ever done that. When I buy like 4 and 5 of something, if they have that many of them, like if they would have had like 4 of these, I would have bought all 4. But it's not to resell and make a profit off of somebody else. I keep these things because, one, I have 3 boys and we like a lot of the same thing. So I can't just buy one of them that action figure. Like all of them want it. So if I want all of us, to include me, to just have one, I have to buy 4 just so we can all have one. And then I also like to keep a sealed version of something for my sealed collection. So that's 5 things of one item that I pretty much have to buy just because that's the way it is when you have kids, right? And plus I'm a collector, and I'm an open and a sealed collector. So it's like, it really hurts for me. But I also like to do, you know, custom work. And I like to customize things. I like to turn things into completely different figures. So if you guys ever see in videos me like coming home with a haul of something that I bought like 4 of, it's not to, you know, make a profit off of somebody that is also looking to get their hands on that item. You know, I'm buying it to actually use it or for kids to actually play with them. So it's not like that. But anyways, a pretty awesome haul. I'm gonna kind of bring this out a little bit. All right, so here was our haul. So we got the Halo set. There in the back, we got the Avatar, the Last Airbender set. You can't really see it, but we had our Pokemon Mega Constructs back there. 4 awesome Ninja Turtle figures. We got the Avatar Rhydon. We got the Green Ranger. We also got some painting stuff over to the side here you can't see. Paintbrushes, paints, all that good stuff. And I think I already said it, but you know, we got the Halo set back there. Pretty sure I started off with that. But just a lot of awesome finds for really good prices. Now, being somebody who like grew up in the 90s, you know, I remember the price of an action figure for the most part when I was a kid in the early to mid 90s. And this is like closer to that price point, right? When I see, you know, action figures these days for a basic 5-inch figure with decent articulation, and they want almost 20 bucks up to $25 for one action figure, it's crazy. Like, it's hard to be a collector these days with just like the price of things. But when you can find them closer to that, you know, $8 to $10 price range, for some good action figures, you know, that's where it's at. That's how much I think an action figure should cost. It's hard to justify paying $25, $30 for an action figure unless it is like the most realistic action figure you've ever seen, right? So hopefully you guys can get out there and have some luck finding some stuff you're looking for at these discount stores, because it's definitely out there. I mean, you know, as you can see. But I think the future, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, you know, this was just like a haul video, but the future of like collecting and just like toy releases in general, I think is kind of bleak. I think a lot of these companies, for the money they have to put into things, like let's just, for an example, I don't want to open any wounds here because I know it's a deep one for me, but the Lightning collection for Power Rangers, right? Ultimately, you know, at the end of the day, I thought it was an awesome line. Now, it definitely had some quality control issues. There were definitely some people making decisions that made some wrong decisions. For example, like the Monsters line. They decided to release these awesome detailed classic monsters, but they were not to scale with like the Rangers. And that bothered a lot of people, to include me. I think they really messed something up there. They had a chance to have another awesome part of that line. But when you make things different sizes and they don't scale to each other, you know, that's a big deal for avid fans and like collectors. Another thing was the decision to go to plastic-free packaging, to where you could no longer have a plastic window to see the figure, and instead they were all encased in a box, much like you have the VHS Green Ranger here. That's a big deal, especially for sealed collectors. Like, we want to see the figure. We want to see what it actually looks like. Is it broken? Does it have defects? I just think a lot of the people making decisions weren't thinking about a lot of things. Like, naturally, we want to, you know, if we can, we want to reduce, you know, pollution and all that stuff. Of course we do. But you know, you got to be careful how you go about that. You're still a business trying to make a profit. Could you have scaled down the amount of plastic and still left a window? Yeah, there's just a lot of ways you could have went about that without alienating your fan base. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones you have to please, right? If you want people to buy stuff. But that's not happening. And a lot of people aren't pleased, and the prices of a lot of these things are ridiculous and people can't afford them. And a lot of these toy companies are kind of giving up altogether, and they're reverting to, I mean, not only are they completely giving up on some things and getting out of the toy aspect of it altogether. Power Rangers, for example, completely selling the toy licensing to Playmates, which hopefully they do a decent job with. We'll see. But once again, avid collectors having to restart with new toy lines. And for many years not getting completed ones. Some may not come back. Some may take a long break from collecting. But it's just the quality and the size of these figures. Like, now they're charging $8 to $10 for like a little 4-inch action figure with basically no articulation, maybe 4 points of articulation. And it's just crazy. $8 to $10 for something that barely moves, that's 3.5, 4 inches tall, when you used to be able to get a 5-6 inch fully posable action figure for less than that. It's just, you know, parents aren't going to be able to keep swinging that price for kids, and collectors are going to start turning it away because of the lack of quality and the just the overall design of things. Like, they're getting a lot more simpler, trying to appeal to kids, but it's, you know, it's just a mess. And I'm sure all of you know that are watching this. I'm sure all of you are collectors or fans in some way, shape, or form, and all of you see it, all of you feel it. We could literally talk about this all day long, and this video has gone on down a rabbit hole I didn't want it to go, but just wanted to share this haul with you guys. And some things, you know, things just pop into my mind, and I just happened to think about it a lot and realize it a lot these past couple weekends when we were out toy hunting and just looking at things. A lot of those thoughts just started to pop into my head, you know, seeing it and all this stuff, what's available, what people can't afford, and what's being discounted, and, you know, the asking price of a lot of these toys and collectibles. It's just, I just don't think the future looks very good. I think a lot of people are going to give up on it. A lot of companies are going to give up on it. And we might have several years here in the future where we just don't get very good quality collectibles. I'm sure once again down the road, it'll pick back up and someone will see the need for it. You know, a company that, you know, that there's a void there, and they'll try to do something about it, and it'll come back for a little while. But right now I think it's trending down, which is kind of sad to see. But anyways, that's our Ross haul. Hope you guys find something really cool when you go out there searching for stuff. And until next time, everybody, I will see you next video.